Do you just hate it when you come back from a fight with your thralls, you put away your weapons and all you've got on the wall are dusty and dirty and broken weapons? Ugh, feels like a chore. Gotta repair them, gotta clean them. But hey, work's never done. But what am I talking about? You're not here to hear that. You're not there to listen to me ramble on about chores and cleaning. Just ignore that. Weapon on the wall edge, we'll be talking about those in a second. You're here because you want to know, as we've looked at what the best armour is for Thralls and our ultimate build, you want to know what good weapons are for them. So let's get right into that right now. Alright, so here we are, welcome to my little studio, as I call it, that we have set up for this here. And we're going to look at a few different Thralls here, just show you what base weapon they come with off the Wheel of Friendship, as we now like to call it. Otherwise known as the Wheel of Pain, but we don't like to call it that. We're going to use our good old friend Dalinsia Snowhunter. Yes, I know she's topless, but obviously she's covered up because this is YouTube after all. I'll explain why in a minute. We also have a Sumerian Berserker over there, and we have a couple of Fighter 3s that are Sumerian Fighter 3s, as you can see with that sign there, Mounds of the Dead. These Fighter 3s, we've included these because what I want to do is just give you an example of weapons that they will come with. Sumerian Berserker we've mentioned before, but we'll also talk about their weapon and what you could give them. And of course our good old trusty Dalinsia Snowhunter, what she comes with, where you can find her as well, and the reason why she's got no top on. Right, what we'll do first is we'll look at the Sumerian fighters, and as I say, these are from the Mounds of the Dead, which if I very quickly flick onto my map is all the way up here. This is the Mounds of the Dead here, all in this area where this water is that you can see. And you will find Sumerian fighters of all different levels, so level 1, level 2, level 3, all pretty much wearing, might not be the exact same colours, but it may be more Sumerian blue than the standard that this is, but you'll typically see them male and female, all the different models with this Sumerian steel armour. And what you'll find with some of them is they will appear, or they'll attack you when you see them. They'll have a one-handed sword of some sort and also a shield, and again this can be the male and the female, so you may get attacked by somebody with a one-handed sword and a shield, as you can see there. Or they can also, and they can be mistaken for a Berserker, which is fairly easy to do, I've done it myself. As you can see there, they will come with a two-handed star metal greatsword as well. So at distance at first you might think that's a Sumerian Berserker, but just keep in mind Sumerian fighters can also come with those as well. If you're early game and you're not able to get any star metal from the snow just yet, but you can get up to the Mounds of the Dead, keep looking for all these guys, either with the two-hander or with the sword and shield. Keep killing them, take their star metal weapons and put them in your dismantling bench, and that will give you star metal bars. Same with Dalinsia, her weapon that she comes with, also the Berserker. So they're just your standard fighters, as I say, that you'll see. You could probably keep the sword and shield on them if you wanted them, if you like the appearance of that. They are okay with it, they do fight pretty good with it. But typically, personally, I would say any fighter, Thrall, whoever they are, not just Sumerians, but whoever they are, whether it's a tier 4 named or even a level 3. Level 1s, level 2s I won't really tend to bother with, but if you want a couple of level 3s, get yourself Sumerian Fighter 3s, or really the best ones are the Relic Hunters, even though they come with more points in agility. Sometimes you do get a chance to increase their strength. Even though they might fight well against you with a sword and shield, you might find that they actually do better with a two-hander. So I'd give them a two-handed sword. That's a pretty good weapon for them to use, even if it's just a basic two-handed iron sword at first when you first start out. End game, give them a star metal sword, or if you've got the Telis Sorrow, which is also shown. in the Ultimate Thrall guide, and also in a video that we did look at the Black Keep, which is where you get that sword from. Check those videos out if you haven't seen them. There'll be links for them at the end of this one, so you can go over there and check out the Ultimate Thrall guide and also the Black Keep dungeon where you get the Tell of Sorrow from. Now if we come... no, we won't. We'll go to the Berserker first. So a Sumerian Berserker, as I say, comes from the Mounds of the Dead also, and they will come with a two-handed star metal sword. And if we flick to our map briefly, I just went right past it, didn't I? Oops. There we go. Right, so if we go up here to the Mounds of the Dead, the Sumerian Berserker, if you come up here to the Mounds of the Dead, you'll kind of arrive at the obelisk around here. This little island here, some people like to call this Death Central or Chaos Central. I'll show you why at the end of this video, why it's a bit of a nightmare. Briefly though, this little island also, I've got an island, it's raised up but it's a little island. That is also a potential spawn for Dalinsia Snowhunter. She can spawn wandering around in this area as well, but that can also be a spawn spot for her. But if you look for this island, as I say, if you run to the right of it and go right again, round about in this area here in the water, there is a guaranteed spawn for a Sumerian Berserker, either male or female, and it will always be a Sumerian Berserker, male or female, and they'll be in this Sumerian steel armour and they'll have the two-handed star metal sword. If you're quite early to mid game and you've only got quite mid, shall we say mid value armour and mid grade weapons, be careful, because when they start doing that combo with that two-handed star metal sword, they will hurt you. They do hit pretty hard, which is why they're a great thrall for you to have, or friend, if you want to call them that. They are great with that, and as I say, you can see there we've got a sword on here, and that's the Tell of Sorrow, which is probably your end game two-hander, I would say, to try and get for your Berserker. You could also give them this, which is called Adjo's Bane, which is a one-handed mace. Believe it or not, even though they come off the wheel with a two-handed star metal sword, they are absolutely insane, as is Dalinsia, with a one-handed mace. If you run the War Party build, for example, if you start using two Thralls, two followers, give one of them a two-hander, one of them a mace, and as I mentioned in the Ultimate Thrall guide video, they will just absolutely own the place, whoever you're fighting. The reason why the mace is especially good, the Thrall that uses the one-handed mace gets something called hyper armor, which you won't necessarily notice when they're fighting, but essentially what that hyper armor means is, if they're attacking an enemy, no matter what the enemy hits them with, if they're in mid combo with the mace, they cannot get interrupted, so every hit that they do on an enemy will hit them. So mace will do health damage, and it will also do armor penetration, so especially if you're fighting undead creatures or undead skeletons, etc., those type of people, undead bosses, give one of them a mace. You could give them both maces if you want, but it's always good to have one follower with a two-hander because of the big AoE that a two-handed weapon can do. But yeah, if you haven't tried that out yet with a Thrall with a mace, try it out. It'll work on a solo Thrall, but personally you're probably better if they're solo with you. Give them a two-hander, they just absolutely own the place, they really do. Really good Thralls to have. The Sumerian Berserker, quick overview there, as you can see, he's at level 0, and they come out the Wheel of Friendship with 2,984 health, and depending on what stats you get with a Berserker, you probably want to aim to either increase their strength, because as you can see they automatically come with 15 points in strength and 30 in vitality. You want to give them steak, so grilled steak if you want to increase their vitality, and gruel if you want to get their strength up. Get their health and their strength up as much as you can, and honestly you're pretty much safe, especially at early game. If you get one of these early to mid game, you're laughing. They're absolutely amazing to have, male or female. as is this young lady over here. Pretty much the same thing I've done with the weapons again, is when you get Dalinsia, as I say, she will come off the wheel with a one-handed star metal sword, as you can see there. She does hit pretty hard with that if you're trying to knock her out again, so be ready, be prepared for a bit of a fight, because again she is a tier 4 named fighter. She can be pretty good with this, she'll fight pretty good with it, she has little combos with it, but in a lot of testing and a lot of hours of playing this game, I have noticed, again, she's great with a mace, even a star metal mace if you're at early game and you manage to get Dalinsia from the Khitan mercenaries, if you bought it from them, the traders rather, in current Age of Sorcery that we're in. Give her Agile's Bane if you've got that, which is a legendary weapon that you get out of a chest. You just have to keep opening chests in the world when you kill any bosses. So it's not just any chest, it's the legendary chest from killing world bosses. If you're fortunate enough to get Agile's Bane, give her that. Excuse me, if you follow the Yogg religion, you can also craft the one-handed mace, which is called Yogg's... no, it's not Yogg's Touch. The Tenderizer, sorry. Make that, put a master weapon fitting on it, that'll increase its damage and armor pen again. She's an absolute beast with it. Just like the Berserker, you watch Dalinsia with a one-handed mace and see the difference of how she fights compared to having that one-handed sword in her hand. And you can do the same thing again. If you're running a 2-follow build, 2 Dalinsias or a Dalinsia and a Berserker. If you want your mace on your Berserker, give her the two-hander. She's just as good with a two-hander as a Berserker is. She goes absolutely crazy. Again, same thing with her stats. She comes with 15 in strength, 30 in vitality. Do the same again, focusing on level both of those up. Now the only difference really why Dalinsia is probably the slightly better person to try and get sort of early game is, look there, she already has 3166 health, so she has slightly more health than a Berserker, so she's at level 0 with over 3000 health, whereas the Berserker, as you can see there, comes out with just under that, so it's about 200 odd difference. Now that's not huge to some people, but if you want somebody with slightly more health, then Dalinsia is probably one of your good choices. She's wearing the what is called Sumerian fur armour, so it's a medium armour, and yes, she doesn't have a top on. That's not because I'm trying to be thingy or different with this video. That is how you will see her walking around. So if you have nudity turned off, this is how she'll appear, or if you have partial or full, depending on where you are. The obvious is obvious, her top half will be visible, and again, as we said there, she comes from the Mounds of the Dead. So we'll just zoom out, get all the way back up here again. The map seems to take forever to get up there, but if we zoom in again, there is a little location further up here towards the snow where you can potentially find it, but your best spawns, she can appear in one of these little round huts that are here occasionally. Not this one I don't think, 'cause I think that's undead skeletons that are in that one, but certainly this one or this one, and she could also be wandering around in Mounds of the Dead as well. I'll show you in this video roughly where she could be, or if you get really lucky and you're up for a challenge. Now that we actually have the purple lotus orbs, which are concussion orbs, you could possibly stand on the bridge and throw a couple of those up and just knock everybody out and get away with it. But she can also spawn on there, or in the current chapter of chapter 3 Age of Sorcery, you can buy her from the Khitan traders, as I say, for 50 of the obelisk coins that are available in the game at the moment. Or if you're fortunate to play on a server where people are selling Thralls, you can earn whatever the currency is they're trading with and buy them probably from your server owners. But official wise, you've either got to go out and find her or buy her from the Khitan. So if you want an army of Dalinsias, get your sorcery stuff done while you can, get your obelisk coins saved up, and just, she's not a guaranteed purchase by the way. There is also Janos and 2 archers, Marcos being a beast I think it is, and Varpnir is the other one, so she's a 1 in 4 chance of getting her, but try and get her as best as you can. If you want Dalinsias, this is probably easy peasy time to get her. Get out there and get her. So yeah, that is how they all work. I know that was sort of basic and very brief. I didn't want to make it too complicated, especially for anybody new. But your best fighters, obviously, this will even work with Janos or any of the other named fighters that are out there. Just use Dalinsia and the Berserker as probably examples, because in my personal opinion, and a lot of other people I've heard say, Berserkers and Dalinsia are kind of your best tier 4 fighters really, sort of health wise, stats wise, and certainly damage wise. As I say, you could run 2 Berserkers, 2 Dalinsias, one of each, it's entirely up to you. Both with maces, both with 2-handers. Both with 2-handers can work, but you'll find because the AoE that a 2-hander does, you probably want to mix and match a bit. So have one with a mace and one with a 2-hander, and you'll be laughing. You'll have so much fun with it. Dalinsia, if you're running her on her own, again, probably like the Berserker, give her the 2-handed weapon and you'll just see her rule the roost. It's so much fun. And if you want Star Metal early game, get up to Mounds of the Dead, keep killing your Sumerian fighters, and put their Star Metal weapons in your bench. So that's it. Just like I say, a quick overview of weapons, the best ones to give you Thralls and why you should do it. If you are at endgame and you're using the endgame weapons, don't forget you can put all sorts of fittings on them. But a good one to use, as I said in the Black Keep dungeon video and also in the Ultimate Thrall build video, the Master Weapon fitting is great if you want to increase damage and armor penetration on whatever weapons you're using. They're always your best ones to use. Stat wise, they just give everything the best boost. So to finish this one up, I will now go up to the Mounds of the Dead and I'll quickly show you around there what it kind of looks like and get a rough idea of where Dalinsia can spawn, and also show you the guaranteed Sumerian Berserker spawn. So we'll do that now, so I'll catch you in a minute. Right, so here we are, as I say, at a very dreary, wet and miserable Mounds of the Dead. Probably 99% of the time it rains up here. Yeah, so as I say, if you arrive here from the obelisk, if you've already discovered it, as you can see over there in front of me, you would teleport in there, so you jump down, run across here, and then this is the island in question that I was telling you about, that people call Death Central or Chaos Corner, whatever you want to call it. I'll show you why it's such a pain. But if you're looking for the guaranteed Berserker spawn, you want to run down this way, keep that big island on your left, run through here, and then what we want to do is make a right here. I think have I gone the wrong way here? I might have gone the wrong way here, but let's see. There are a couple of ways to get to it. Yeah, you can get this side, and there are other bits and pieces you can find up there, but the one we want, actually we kind of come, yeah, we've come a bit too far around. So yeah, if you want the Berserker spawn rather, you want to come from there, run straight in here. It's me getting my directions wrong already, so ignore that first bit. Yeah, so keep that on to your left, come around here, and as you can see right there, Sumerian Berserker, and that is a male this time, and as I say, that can come in a female. And as you can see there, Star Metal Greatsword, and they'll kind of typically wander sort of in this area. I don't remember that they ever used to wander this far up to where he's going. No, I don't think they did. Whether they've changed it or it's just bugged at the minute, I don't know, but typically they didn't used to wander out there. They would just wander up and down in this area and then sort of down there a little bit. But do keep in mind, just here there are a couple of whites, as they're called, even though they sort of glow white and blue. So it's like the undead skeletons that are kind of up behind that hill. They will sometimes, if they are nearby here, just sort of there, which they can be because there is a camp sort of just around here up that hill where they sort of spawn. Oh, there you go, here's one here, look. These guys do knock around here, and sometimes if the Berserker is here, they will aggro up to them, or they'll aggro down to the Berserker and they will fight them, and very occasionally the skeleton will actually kill the Berserker. Sometimes the Berserker will typically kill them, but very occasionally. So if you're coming up with your truncheon, you're going to have a bit of a problem that you're going to have to try and kill the skeleton off to then try and knock out the Berserker, because bear in mind I am cloaked and in God mode, which is why he's not attacking me, because if I was to uncloak right now he would attack. But as you can see there, he's come back from where he was before and he's now wandering up there. Now it could be, if that skeleton is still around, let's just see if he does spot him. Skeleton's gone back over there a bit, he's kind of glitching on that rock. Oh yeah, see, there we go.
Hey. Bright joy of slaying.
Now I know that's another AI that's in the game that's attacking him, but look at that swinging that he did. Yeah, he lost a little bit of health, but how hard did he hit him then? Now you imagine that on you. If they unleash that full combo on you with that sword, yeah, good luck, you're going to know about it. Right, now if I pop up here, all of this area is not friendly, so you will get aggro to anybody that is wandering around here, so just bear that in mind. Bring a Thrall with you if you've got a good one. If you don't want them killing everything, give them a truncheon, because if you're trying to watch out for named people. But yeah, this island here, as you can see now, this is where we were just looking up at from down the bottom, and up here you can get a fighter, either 2 or 3, sometimes 2 or 3 if it's a fighter in Dalinsia spawn, because she does share a spawn with other fighters, a bearer, 1, 2 or 3, and also a taskmaster. So if we go up here, like I say, these aren't going to attack because I am cloaked in God mode, but typically they would attack. As you can see there, fighter 3, so straight away he's going to see and he's going to come at you with that sword. And then in front of him, sat down on the grass here, we have a bearer, again can be male or female. Then we've got another Sumerian fighter there, that's a 2. Taskmaster stood back here, again can be female, any different level, 1, 2, 3. And here another Sumerian fighter 3, and this spot here is where Dalinsia can spawn. So if you always bear in mind where the Taskmaster is, to the right of the Taskmaster if you're looking from behind, or the left in our case, is where Dalinsia can spawn, and it should be sat like that as well, just as he is. So you could potentially climb up the side and peek over, see if you can see her sat there, and as I said, because she's in a Sumerian fur armour and topless, she's quite easy to spot. So it's not a guaranteed spawn, but however Berserkers are guaranteed. So your Berserker could be a good shout to get first. Get them leveled up, get them in some good armour, bring them up here. And then what you can do is, if you come up over here, kind of wander, check all around here. I have seen other people do videos before, and I think Angar, another great YouTuber from the UK, he was doing a series one time talking about Dalinsia and where to get her, and I'm not kidding you, I think it was this ramp here. As he looked up there and said she can sometimes be wandering around here, he came over that bit just as I did. It might have been this one or that one, but as he did it, I remember he was coming onto this ramp and who came walking down in front of him? But Dalinsia. It was crazy. So yeah, she can be wandering around in this area, typically between all these mounds. That's a fighter by the look of it. This also, I don't know if it's this spawn or one of the wandering spawns up here, can be a Berserker again as well, so just bear that in mind. You might think you're coming up against a fighter 3, but you could end up encountering a Berserker, so just be prepared. You can get a Berserker up here as well, wandering around. I think that is the spawn she may spawn as if she's here. She might not have spawned now. Because there is a little camp just up north that she's sometimes at that's constantly getting attacked by wolves. So I'm not too sure on that one, but typically a lot of people would say come here to find her. If she's not over there, check over here, because I think I have seen her wandering around here before now. You'll have to more or less just have a good look around everywhere. As I say, this is a high aggro area, so it means anything that you go near will aggro to you, so just be prepared for a fight. Also a great spot for getting your named crafters. all the different ones, all the different tiers are all here as well. So Mounds of the Dead is pretty good for getting all your different Thralls. She could possibly spawn in that spawn where he is. So what I'll do is, if you guys are interested, let me know in the comments down below if you want a walk around of the Mounds of the Dead, and I'll do a video where we just go up here and purely walk around the Mounds of the Dead and just look at all the different areas and show you what there is, so that you get an idea of what to expect up here and what's around. But briefly, just while I'm here, I think I've got the right spot. No, I may not have done actually. Just trying to remember, because there is a spot around here. See if I can remember where it is. There is a spawn. Might just have the wrong area, but there is a spawn not too far from here. That's more where the skeletons are, so that's probably not the right bit. But if you look on the top of one of these, I could be going the wrong way for it. I don't want to keep you guys too long and keep looking at the map, but right next to one of these, there is a spawn where, oh, there we go. There we go. You've got this fighter here. I think it's this spot. And there can also be, I thought it was there. Have I got the right one? Just go back a bit further up here. No, maybe it's not that one. But yeah, similar mound. I'll have a look at it in the Mounds of the Dead video if we do one. But like where you've got the guy stood there, there is a spot where you get a named dancer. Again, that's not a guaranteed spawn. It can be any of the 3-tier dancers that you find, 1, 2, 3, and also named. That can spawn. But as you can quickly see, if I just do a quick fly around here, the Mounds of the Dead is quite a vast area, and there's quite a lot to discover and find around here. Just ignore the map room there, that's supposed to be appearing, but it's not for me. There we go. It's just on my server that I play on that is actually available to people at the moment. It's actually a PlayStation server. Conan's Chosen, I believe it's called. It's Conan's Chosen slightly boosted, which it just means XP, etc. has all just been slightly increased, damage, just to make it slightly more friendly for new players, but not too easy. So you're welcome to join us on the PlayStation if you're on PlayStation. And also while you're here, you can talk to this gentleman here who will kind of tell you who he is, where he came from, and what he's doing up here. So there we go guys, that was just another quick one to give you a quick example of some of the weapons that are good to use for your Thralls, how you can kind of mix and match them, and the weapon they come with starting out, just so you know what you're looking for, and some examples of what to give them to make them the best Thralls you can. So I hope you found that useful, hope you found that helpful. If you find these sort of videos interesting and helpful and you prefer this type of content, I am very grateful to everybody who has subscribed. Look forward to any new subscribers that come to join us. As I say, if you do enjoy this, please let me know in the comments down below. Let me know how I'm doing, because the more info I get from you guys, the more I know you, my community, what you would like to see, so that I can create content that I know you want to see, rather than me trying to create content that I think you'll want to see. It just helps me out a lot. And if you could also like the video, it helps the YouTube algorithm to recommend these videos to more people, and more people means more members for the community, and it just helps us to grow as a channel. It's totally free to do, doesn't cost you anything, just means you benefit me so I can benefit you with content you want to watch. And if you haven't subscribed, why not consider doing so while you're there, so you don't miss our next upload or a possible future live stream. So that's it for me guys, and until I see you in the next one, I shall say goodbye.